are the 15 most influential leaders of the 20th century. When we take a look at the 20th century, we see that many wars that change world history occurred and many states existed. However, the most significant feature that distinguishes the 20th century from other eras is that it was a century dominated by leaders who left their mark on world history. The greatest characteristic of the 20th century is its inclusion of historical events, such as World War I, the Great Depression, World War II, while also witnessing the independence of many African, Asian, and South American colonies during this century. Furthermore, forms of governance such as capitalism and communism led to revolutions in countries, which were also orchestrated by great leaders. These historical events were undoubtedly governed by historical leaders. This combination of events and leaders made the 20th century one of the most extraordinary periods in history. Here are the 15 most influential leaders of the 20th century, who are the subject of curiosity and who changed world history. Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong, a military leader, statesman, and theoretical revolutionary, is the leading figure of the Chinese Communist Party and the founder of the People's Republic of China. Ernesto Che Guevara. Che Guevara, a doctor, writer, military leader, and statesman, was a Marxist revolutionary who carried out the Cuban Revolution together with Fidel Castro. Today, he's introduced as an iconic hero by certain circles. Che Guevara, a doctor, writer, military leader, and statesman, was a Marxist revolutionary who led the Cuban Revolution together with Fidel Castro. Today, he is introduced as an iconic hero by certain circles. Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi is the pioneer leader of the Indian independence movement and the architect of the form of civil disobedience that influenced the world. Gandhi, one of the important activists of the 20th century, made England accept what he wanted with his non-violent actions and death fasts, and ensured that the people of India received their freedom. Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela is a Nobel Peace Prize winner, anti-discrimination activist, and first black president of the Republic of South Africa. South African people say the following about Mandela, the man who brought freedom to South Africa. If it weren't for Mandela, there would be no such thing as democracy in South Africa. Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler, a theoretician, statesman, and leader of Nazi Germany, invaded Poland and started World War II. He is the political leader who started World War II and carried out the Holocaust. He is one of the most important names of the 20th century and one of the names that changed world history. Vladimir Lenin, political theorist Vladimir Lenin, was a revolutionary Russian leader who was the pioneer of the Russian Communist Party, the leader of the Bolshevik Revolution, and the architect and first president of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. He is the founder of Leninism, a political and economic movement. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Franklin D. Roosevelt, politician and statesman, presided over the United States during World War II and the Great Depression. He is the only president in the history of the United States to be elected 4 times. Benito Mussolini. Benito Mussolini, the leader of the National Fascist Party in Italy and the president of the Italian Social Republic, is a fascist leader who acted together with Adolf Hitler with the idea of joining forces with Germany in the Second World War. It is known in history for the fascist massacres it committed in the 20th century. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the most far-sighted statesman of the 20th century, was a politician, soldier, and founder of the Republic of Turkey. Atatürk, the first president of the Republic of Turkey, is a revolutionary, theorist, political and military leader who set an example for all nations. Joseph Stalin. He is a statesman and military leader who became the head of the USSR after the death of Vladimir Lenin. He is the leader of the October Revolution and the commander-in-chief of the Red Army, the famous army of World War II. Winston Churchill. British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, World War II. The successful relationship he established with US President Franklin D. Roosevelt during World War II enabled him to become one of the most influential statesmen of the 20th century. He played a very important role in the establishment of the Council of Europe and NATO organizations after the World War. Fidel Castro, who carried out the Cuban Revolution together with Che Guevara, is the legendary Marxist revolutionary leader of Cuba. Castro served as Cuba's Prime Minister, President, and First Secretary of the Cuban Communist Party, and played a very important role in the international arena. Francisco Franco, who led the nationalist forces during the Spanish Civil War in the 20th century, is a statesman and leader who ruled the country as a dictator for 36 years after the end of the war. Saddam Hussein, who came to power in 1979, served as the president of Iraq. Saddam Hussein, who became an important leader of Arab nationalism and Arab socialism, gained respect in the Arab world with the attitude taken by the Israeli government. After the terrorist attacks in the United States on September 11, 2001, Saddam Hussein became the target of America. Josip Broz Tito, he is the founder and military leader of the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. He is the most valued statesman in the Balkan countries in the 20th century.